Greetings to all of you. Program BBM Principles of Management, Unit number 4 Directing. Topic is Leadership Styles. So, in the previous episode, we discussed the meaning of leadership and leadership styles. The first one being the autocratic leadership, second one is the democratic leadership or participative leadership. Let us discuss in detail about the democratic leadership. So contents are introduction, democratic leadership. So as you know that the leader will be influencing the behavior of the subordinates. So based on the leadership style, the followers will be functioning. The second type of leadership style is the democratic or participative leadership. Uh, it is also called as a consultative democratic leader. So the consultative or democratic leader takes the decisions in consultation with the subordinates. So the democratic leader will be taking the decisions by consulting the subordinates. He decentralizes the authority and allows the subordinates to share his power. So the authority of the democratic leader will be decentralized and he will be sharing his authority with the subordinates. The leader does the what group wants and follows the majority of the opinion. So whatever the group has required, that will be uh, performed, and he will be following the majority of the opinions which are expressed by the subordinates. The leader keeps the followers informing about the matters which affect the subordinates. So he will be keep informing the subordinates regarding the matters which will be affecting them. Democratic leader provides freedom of thinking and expression. So as a democratic leader, he will be taking the opinions of the subordinates. That's why the subordinates will be having of freedom to express and freedom to think. So they can think independently and they can give their opinion. So he democratic leader listens the suggestions of the subordinates, whatever the grievances the subordinates has and whatever the opinions expressed by the subordinates, all will be taken care by the leader. So the advantages of democratic leader or participative leadership are as follows. First one, it improves the job satisfaction and morale of the subordinates. The democratic or participative leadership will be giving the chances to the subordinates to express their opinion and to think freely. So it gives much satisfaction and and also increases the morale of the subordinates. Second advantage is that the democratic leadership style cultivates the decision making ability in the subordinates. As democratic leader allows the subordinates to participate in the decision making process, the ability of the subordinates will be increased. So it will cultivate the decision making ability of the subordinates. The third advantage is the democratic leader multiplies his abilities through the contribution of his followers. So the leader can multiply his ability because by taking the opinions or ideas from the subordinates, the leader can multiply his abilities. Next advantage, it develops positive attitudes and reduces resistance to change. As the democratic leader will be taking the opinions of the subordinates, so they feel as they are important. That's why uh, brings or it builds positive attitudes, and whenever there is a change, the subordinates will not resist. They accept the changes because they know what are the changes going to happen well in advance. That's why they will be preparing their mind for the changes. The next advantage is that the quality of the decisions is improved, as democratic leader will be taking the opinions into consideration. That's why the decisions taken by him will be a quality decisions. The other advantage is that there will be a reduction or reducing of labor turnover and absenteeism, because subordinates are treated on par with the managers because their opinions are taken into consideration. That's why they feel responsible for the organization. So that's why there will be a less absenteeism and labor turnover. So these are the uh, decisions advantages of the democratic leadership. Let us discuss about the disadvantages. The first disadvantage is that it is a time consuming process and makes the decisions very delay, as democratic leader will be consulting the subordinates for each and every decision. So by consulting all the subordinates, taking their opinions, that may lead to time consumption, and decisions cannot be taken quickly because their opinions needs to be taken and then the decision has to be taken. The second disadvantage is that it may not yield positive results when the subordinates prefer minimum interaction with the leader. So if the subordinates prefer a very minimum interaction with the leader, in that case it does not, even though there is a chance for the consultation, but if they are not ready, in that case it does not give positive results. The another disadvantage is that over a period of time the subordinates may develop the habit of expecting to be consulted. So if the leader has consulted for each and every decision taken by him with the subordinates may take the habit of, so they need to be consulted. So if without consulting, if any decision has taken, that may lead to conflicts among the leader and subordinates. That is the next disadvantage. Next one, uh, as the democratic leader will be consulting the subordinates may think that his ability may be questioned sometimes, because as the leader he will be consulting the subordinates for each and every decision. Sometimes it may lead to uh, questioning of the ability of the leader. And another disadvantage is that sometimes it may be used as a passing of the buck to others and abdicating the responsibility. So as the manager or the leader is consulting the subordinates, sometimes leader may say that as you given your opinion, so if anything happens, so he may throw the responsibility on the subordinates. Uh, Another disadvantage is that it requires considerable communication and pervasive skills on the part of the leader. The leader has to each and everything has to be communicated. That's why it requires much communication and pervasive skills. The subordinates has to be persuaded, so that's why much of the skills are required. So consultative leadership is considered to be more effective than autocratic style, though there is no empirical proof. So it is much better when compared to autocratic, but there is no proof. Consultative style is more compatible with the prevailing value system, which favors freedom of expression and independent thinking. So most of the subordinates are educated and they want to be consulted and they want to express their opinion. So consultative leadership is the best for the present situation. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.